South Africa is located in the southern part of Africa. The neighboring countries are Botswana, Namibia, Zimbabwe and Mozambique. But there is also a country that is located in the center of South Africa that is called Lesotho. The capital of South Africa is Pretoria. Pretoria has 1.7 million inhabitants. But Pretoria isn't the biggest city in South Africa. The biggest city is called Johannesburg, and it lives about 3.9 million people there. The river that runs through the country is called Limpopo. And that river is one of the biggest African rivers that ends up in the Indian Ocean. South Africa is a quite big country and has about 53 million citizens. The surface of South Africa depends on where you are. In the east you have a big mountain chain that is called the Mountains of the Dragon. And the rest of the country, the inland plateau, dominates. The east part is therefore the highest part of the country. The soil cover is mainly sandy. The area of South Africa is calculated to about 1.77 million square meters. South Africa is a so-called republic. Therefore are they being ruled by a president and a parliament. The biggest parliament has ruled South Africa since the early start of the 19th century. It's called ANC, the African National Congress. The highly most known president of the South Africa is Nelson Mandela. He was elected in the year 1994. He had a big influence of the peaceful development. The president there in action can be re-elected every 5 years. He has been elected by the parliament. In the 1600s, the Dutch conquered the current South Africa, so it became their colony. The Dutch colony lasted to the 1800s. Then the British Army took over the colony of South Africa. In 1910, the South African Union was created and it was a liberated country. But they were still members of the British Commonwealth on that time. In 1961, they became all independent. The man I mentioned earlier, Nelson Mandela, is very important of the history of South Africa. The reason for this is because he was the first president of South Africa who was black. He joined the ANC in 1944 and was imprisoned for a struggle against the whites. After 19 years in captivity, he was released in 1990. When he became president, he worked strongly to achieve reconciliations and to arrange collaborations between blacks and whites. He was the achiever of the Nobel Prize for Peace in 1993. The structure of the school system of South Africa is the same that the Swedish school has. It is compulsory to attend the school for 9 years.